How do you price competitively and stay within a average market value when you're starting off with selling with Printify print-on-demand products, or if maybe you are just starting selling out? Today, I'm breaking down the things that you should know in pricing if you are new to pricing, or maybe you've been selling for some time. And today I'm going to break down some concepts that are really important in the psychology behind pricing products. And if we picture pricing products kind of like a stock market in a way, there are times that we may have to increase our prices or we may have to decrease our prices. If you're in a sales position or you're selling products, you're always going to come across a fluctuation of pricing. After this video, you will feel very confident in pricing your products. So let's hop straight into the video. So the first thing that you absolutely should know when you are starting to look at your prices and what you want to price your products for, I want you to look at the market as it is currently and take a few samples of pricing for the product that you are looking to start pricing out in your own business. So an example is if I'm looking to sell maybe a Bella & Canvas 3001 t-shirt, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in multiple niches and I am going to pull a few data points between a few different niches and bestsellers that are selling in those niches. Now, again, you're going to come across those loss leader listings or just listings that have other products within them that show the pricing to be much lower than it actually is. Now, I want you to ignore those listings and start clicking into those listings and going to the product that you are looking to price out. So an example is if you find one of those listings that have a $10 price point, click into it, you'll see that the Bella & Canvas 3001 might be actually $16.99. So that gives us one data point. Now you do want to pull a few more. The more data points you have, the better idea you will have of the market average value, which is the really important piece to this segment of this video. Is you want to create a market average value for every product that you are looking to sell individually. So all the way up to 10 data points and values that you can add together. Then you will divide by the number of values that you have written down as data points. So an example is if I found maybe a Bella & Canvas 3001 t-shirt that was $16.99, and then I see another t-shirt that was maybe $22.99, and then I saw another t-shirt that might have been $24.99. So I am going to add all these up, and that is $64.97 divided by my 3 data points, which is 21.656. So 21.66 rounded up. Now this is just an example, not to say that's exactly what the Bella & Canvas 3001 is right now. But if I were getting the average market value, that is what I would put together in order to see what the average market value is. Now, here's where the next thing comes into play. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is all compounding, right? So the next thing that you want to factor in is, are you offering free shipping or are you offering no free shipping? Because this is something you will have to consider as far as, are you compensating your price and making your price higher due to the fact that you are offering free shipping? And if you are, then I would recommend to not offer free shipping. For pricing your products, if you're offering free shipping, you're usually going to lose out on some profit. And if you're compensating your price and charging your customer more, then it's just not really worth it altogether because your customers will see that. Now, the next factor and concept that's going to come into play is reverse engineering your profit. Instead of pricing and figuring out your profit, why not start with figuring out your profit that you want per product first, and then going from there, comparing that to the average market value that we created earlier. And then from that, you can decide if you want to offer free shipping or no free shipping by reverse engineering your profit. So I'm going to get out my profit calculator and we're going to do this together. And I'm going to show you one of my resources that I do have in the links down below if you are curious and you would like to reverse engineer your profit on different products with me as well. Okay, so I brought out my my laptop and I currently have on my screen my product profit calculator that I created with a CPA in order to reverse engineer pricing and just pricing for a nice profit consistently. So if you're curious about this, you can check this out down below in the links in the description and be able to input any product that you sell, whether that be handmade, maybe even a digital product or a print-on-demand product. That all works within this product profit calculator because this calculates and shows your estimated shipping. It also shows transaction fees, processing fees, and it breaks down everything that can help you in reverse engineering your profit, right? When I open up this product profit calculator, you'll see I already have an input. Now you can easily put in any product with any print-on-demand company that you use. I personally use Printify. That is my top print provider that I've been recommending on this channel and have been using since the beginning of my own Etsy business. And I have input a lot of different products that I've used and sold within the past few years on Etsy. So one example I'm going to start out with, and this is a product that a lot of people are selling typically around the holiday season, right? Which is ornaments. So let's say with ornaments, I want to have a certain profit. Again, we're gonna start with reverse engineering our profit, right? So I'm going to go to my price calculator here. Now, let's say that I want a $5 profit by selling an ornament. So I'm gonna select the ornament here first. Then I'm going to put my desired profit per item is $5 currently. And let's say that I'm not running Etsy ads right now, but if you decide you wanna run Etsy ads, let's say that your ads are spending maybe $5 per ad. So if you were running $5 per ad, that would increase the pricing in order to get a consistent $5 of profit, right? But in this example, we're gonna start with everything at zero besides the profit. So if I do not have a discount running, I'm not offering free shipping. Again, what I kind of recommend in total, and this is just from my own experience, free shipping has not really boosted my store. And that's just my personal experience. I know people who have offered free shipping and that's really worked for them. But again, I've noticed a lot of people fall into a free shipping compensation trap, what I like to call it. And I've mentioned this in a common mistake video that I'll link up above that I highly recommend watching for pricing and just learning a little bit more of pricing and the strategies behind it. So as far as not offering free shipping, the minimum listing price we would have to price our listing at is $11.55. So again, we reverse engineered the profit because if we look, production fee is going to be $4.44. The shipping's $5.89. Again, we're not offering free shipping, so the customer will end up paying for that. Processing fee is 25 cents. Listing fee is 20 cents. So a subtotal fixed fees of $10.78, but again, we're not paying for the shipping in this example. Now, let's say you did want to offer free shipping. Now, just because it's something I recommend does not mean that you should not try out free shipping. It might be okay, or it might help your shop to offer free shipping if that's something that you would like to do in the future. Now, as you can see, if we offered free shipping and we still wanted a profit of $5, we would have to list our listing at $17.44 for an ornament. That's just something to keep in mind. Now, let's say that you're running sales and you know you're running sales for holidays, or maybe a few times a week you're running flash sales and you know your flash sale is probably 25% per sale that you run. So for your listing price, to make sure that you still get a $5 profit across the board outside of the time that you're running a sale or not running a sale, you would want to have your minimum listing price at $17.36. So here's something that I wanted to talk about and pause to go over for a moment is retail value versus the minimum price you need to set in your shop to see a $5 profit, right? So retail value is what you want to imagine in your head and keep that number in mind if you have a sale running. Typically for any retail store, for any e-commerce store, you do want to price for the higher profit because you want to consistently run sales and also have holiday sales, because flash sales, holiday sales, events, those tend to make a customer feel urgency to buy. And the pricing strategy is to usually price a little bit higher than what your minimum profit number is in order to see consistent profit when you're running those flash sale events, right? So this is something you need to factor in. And again, it's a compounding concept, right? Now, as we can see, let's say we have $17.36 is our price. So if I go to my profit calculator here, I'm going to input the ornament again, and so I know that for $17.36, that would be my minimum listing price to have a $5 profit at a 25% off discount. So if I go to my profit calculator, and even if we did the $17.36, and let's say we weren't running a sale, so we had a order come through without that sale running, that would be a profit of $10.26, which is super nice. That's a really nice deal. And let's say that you wanted to offer free shipping to a customer. That would be $4.93. So that price is pretty good as far as pricing for an ornament goes. So if I did $19.99 in this example, that would be $12.64. If that ornament sold at a regular price of $19.99 before a sale or a sale event that would happen in your shop, that would be $12.64 of profit. And again, let's say we had that 25% off discount happening, then that would be $8.12 of profit. So that's kind of nice if we're looking at the pricing of an ornament. And overall, that's what you do want to keep in mind. If you find that maybe the average market value is lower than $19.99, that's something we do want to consider as well. So if I go on Etsy, I'm just gonna pull up a few ornaments here. One thing I do wanna note is when I'm looking on ornaments, a lot of ornaments are lower in price. So what I'm seeing for price points is $9.90 to $11.99. So this is the last concept that I do want to introduce to you, which is perceived value. And even though we are print-on-demand sellers, it is tough to compete when there are handmade sellers who can sell ornaments around $10 and still see a profit, as opposed to print-on-demand sellers that we do have to price a little bit higher than the handmade sellers or people who are printing these products themselves, because we do have production fees and other fees that come into play. Now, what I want to note about perceived value is that low pricing and the lowest price or lower pricing on a market is typically associated with lower quality. Now, this isn't always the case, because what also comes into play is reviews, the photo reviews that come through on your Etsy shop, and the amount of sales that you have. So that can boost your perceived quality and value of your products as well. So a lot of listings that you're going to see that are bestsellers have the lower pricing, but they have high photo reviews and high sales, which is kind of the happy medium that makes these products end up as bestsellers on Etsy. Now, as print-on-demand sellers, we do have to keep this in mind, that if we don't have as many sales, as many photo reviews and reviews on our shop, we do have already a lower perceived value. On top of that, I typically like to use a method that I call price staggering. So what price staggering is trying to start at a lower end of profit. This is dependent on your perceived value of your listings and of your shop as a whole. So let's say you do not have any reviews, any sales on your shop, and this typically can create a low perceived value because you do not have trust built up in your business yet. What I recommend to those of you who are at that stage is to price a little bit lower. So instead of $5 of profit, what about $3 of profit? And then you are going to stagger your price as you get more reviews and sales. What I typically recommend is every 50 reviews, I would increase my prices usually by 10 to 20%. Hopefully that helps those of you. Here is the other concept that I'm going to bring to a lot of people, which is if, let's say, there is a seller who makes 100 sales at $1 and you make 50 sales at $2, that's still the same profit. Don't feel bad if you're pricing a little bit higher and you have less sales than another seller. You may be getting more profit than those sellers at the end of the day with less work. The last tip that I want to give, or last knowledge and bits of wisdom that I can give, is that every print-on-demand product doesn't really have a set value in the market because the market's always fluctuating. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see for a lot of new sellers is when it comes to running ads or offering free shipping, they end up being in the negative because they're not thinking of those factors, which is really easy to do. I did it when I began and I lost money due to offering free shipping and running ads. So if you find you're in that place, again, I have that resource down below that you can purchase if you are looking to have some additional help and know how to make a consistent profit over time. Besides that, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and I'll see you all in the next video here.